Good morning and welcome. It's a brand new week here and a brand new month. So I guess it's safe to say Happy New Month and welcome to the month of September, the months. We have a few months now to the end of the year. We're quickly or quietly winding down. And September is a reminder that you have October, November, December. So it's literally like we're entering into the last quarter of the year. We're hoping that everyone can start to revisit the goals and the plans for the year. As it might look like there isn't time, but there is still some time to be able to achieve all the things that you set out for 2025. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. I am Olive, MOD.
And I'm Johansson. Well, down with a little cold, by the way. I think it's quite unusual. It's in the air. Everyone is, struggling.
You see, people should stay far away from me, I beg.
I
beg. I beg. I don't want. I beg.
Everyone's sniffing, everyone's coughing. I think it's in the air, actually. But it feels good to be here. Apparently, Benga Borowa is on a 1-week leave. Let's see if we can pull him back and see if he can come back. Because you do have instances where, like in sports, in football, currently what's happening to Chelsea, where a player has been told to go go to another club on loan, and then they find out that their own striker is injured, so they're calling the player to come back.
Yeah,
like saying, I beg, come
back. So this is Joe's way of publicly telling Benga that they're going to call you to beg you, to loan you whilst you're on leave. How was your weekend?
Come back. It was okay. I think the weekend was a bit, I'd say, very fast. I think we have longer days and shorter nights now. The nights are very short, very quick. Before you blink one or two, I mean, the alarm clock is ringing already, telling you to wake up. So that's what I noticed. But then again, the weekend, let's say it was adventurous, not really, but it was okay. It was all right. How was yours, though?
It was it was more quiet than usual because I, interestingly, felt like I tore my muscles at the gym on Thursday. So I think what they called it is a delayed onset of muscle strain or something like that. So as at Saturday, I could barely move my arms. But I mean, I'm holding my mug today. So that's great news. I didn't think I'll be able to do that today. So yes, that's wonderful news. But the weekend was a very dark weekend. A dark weekend because it felt like all we had all through the weekend was bad news. Bad news because of several reasons. Yesterday, unfortunately, Big Brother, Nigeria reality TV star's sister, we're talking of Phyna's sister, that's Miss Ruth Otabor, unfortunately passed. We've been following this story and bringing you up to speed regarding this story. She was unfortunately hit by a Dangote truck, and her sister raised alarm about this on social media. And, after this, several bloggers and social commentators began to weigh in on the issue. Initially, Dangote released a statement, which we criticized, saying it lacked empathy. Eventually, they got into a meeting. I mean, this was the first press release and the statement that they released, and we thought this was very brief, lacking in empathy.
This was
and it didn't show.
This
was the one. This was the one. Yes, this was the one they released yesterday. So apparently, what the latest was that they had agreed and come to a conclusion that they were going to fly her to India, and they were waiting for a fit to fly clearance from her doctors. But unfortunately, her life has been lost. What this highlights again is how individuals, organizations, and institutions need to take accountability for the kind of people that they employ. Her death and her accident, unfortunately, brought about several people sharing their stories of being attacked, or someone who was being killed by a Dangote truck. And it just, again, reminds us that if you're employing people, you must employ people who they're working for you. It's the reputation of your company. So you must ensure that you do your due diligence. Do these people have driver's licenses? Do they know how to drive? Again, what are the state of our roads? Are roads fit to be driven on? Are these roads good? Do they have potholes? Do they need to be properly looked into? And finally, I want to say a big shame. Shame to the content creators who used this story to trend. There were people who made nonsense out of this story. It's terrible. People who tried to deviate attention from the core issue. The core issue here was that a young woman, unfortunately, had lost her leg, had got into an accident that could have been avoided, but got into this accident by a truck. that initially it looked like they were trying to escape, but they found the person. This young lady requires medical attention, unfortunately, because she's passed medical attention. But there were people who were trying to make it about her having kids, people who were trying to make it about the request of her sister. Shame on everyone who was involved in trending, in using this woman's life to trend. Shame on you all. I hope that we can do better as a society, especially the social media commentators, that they can do better. If you do not have anything positive, if you do not, and this is not to say that you shouldn't speak up about issues. It's important that we all lend our voices, because it's in speaking about this issue that it gained the traction that it gained. But the moment they started rewriting the narrative, that was such a terrible time.
I think it's a sad one. When I saw the story yesterday, I was like, oh, this is pretty sad, because one thing also was obvious. There was a long delay in making the decision.
Imagine that they had flown her immediately.
So, exactly. If they had flown her immediately out, maybe our chances of survival would have been, higher compared to what happened eventually. Another thing I noticed again is the press release from Dangote. I don't know if we can put it on the screen there. In that press release, they had made mention of some things that they had done. Let's see if we can get that press release on the screen there from Dangote, especially.
Are you talking about the initial press release?
No, the
final one. Okay, that's the one that our producers just
where
showed.
they put it out there, and in that press release, they had mentioned that as a company, they care about accountability and so on and so forth. And one would ordinarily wonder when I saw that press release, and I said, if there was a care for accountability, then the driver who was driving that truck wouldn't have been driving without a driver's license, because it was eventually information emerged that the driver had no driver's license. He was not certified to even drive the truck. This was accordingly mentioned by those who were on ground, who had fact-checked and followed through. But then again, there were also mentions of recurring instances where the same truck has killed or has maimed persons who ply that route or that road. And you keep wondering, why is it happening one too many times? Unfortunately, Dangote himself, who happens to be the owner and the richest black man in Africa, will have his name now being tainted with different colors, because obviously that company belongs to him. But many Nigerians don't want to look at the fact that, oh no, he's just the owner of the company. There are people who work for him. So this goes to show that there's a lot to be done. A lot in the sense that aside from ensuring that you own a company, you have to go deep down to look at these instances or these tragedies that have occurred under your company and then try to solve them. I'm waiting to see what they will do concerning the death of Phyna's sister.
Ms. Ruth Otabor.
Obviously, there's no amount of money.
No amount of money.
Life back. It's a tragedy that has happened. I'm hoping, I'm still waiting to see what they will do. Like I did mention about the press release, a lot of our producers are there.
Can our producers please put back the press release?
So we can see the press release there from Dangote. And I don't know, it says, just like you see there, it says, we're deeply saddened by the passing of Ruth Otabor, who was injured in the recent road incident involving one of our trucks in Auchi, Edo State. On behalf of the entire Dangote Group, we extend our heartfelt condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones at this difficult time. I'd like to take the final part. It says that Dangote Group safety, accountability, and compassion remain at the core of our operations. We remain committed to strengthening our safety systems and supporting those affected in moments of tragedy. May God grant her mercy and eternal rest. So I'm just using this medium to also highlight to Dangote that those three very important action words you put there, safety, accountability, and compassion, which many Nigerians felt was missing in the first press release, should actually be looked into. And then the person who perpetrated this act, of course, we do know as a company, you try as much as possible to shield, but there needs to be some form of accountability for this action. Very
Absolutely.
sad.
There certainly needs to be some form of accountability, but our thoughts and our prayers are with the family of Miss Ruth Otabor. We hope that they can find some solace, that they can hold on to the memories that she had whilst they were alive, and that these memories can hold their hearts in this moment of grief. The whole of the country sends our condolences and mourns with you in this moment. And her death must not be in vain. And the way that we can ensure her death is not in vain is that we do not have repeat incidences like this one. But that's not the only sad story that happened over the course of the weekend. There were reports of multiple cases of maternal mortality. Now, a young woman in Abuja, a content creator, Joy Carl, made a video of a pregnant woman. A number of us saw the video. This pregnant woman, we saw how she, was walking, and Joy offered to give her a ride, and asked her why she was walking, and she said that her hospital had asked her to bring 28,000 naira. She wanted to take a cab, and Joy wanted to pay for the cab, and the woman said, "No, please don't pay for the cab for me. Instead, give me the money so I can add it to the money I'm trying to raise." So the content creator asked her, "How much are you trying to raise?" And the woman said, 28,000 naira. She offered to add the 28, to complete the 28,000 naira. She said that's not just all, that she was also asked to get a letter of reference. So she went back to the hospital, got a letter of reference, got the money, went back to the hospital. By the time they did the registration, they said no bed space. So basically, they did a bit of moving, and by the time they got to the third hospital, unfortunately, the twin babies died. But that's not all. There was another video over the course of the weekend about a young woman in Akwa Ibom. Her sister, Amos Ndifreke, released the video sharing about how this... So, yes, this video you're seeing here is the Abuja video where this young woman... So before I go into the Akwa Ibom story, let's take a look at this video.
Mama, good morning, ma. Yes, ma, how you doing? You look like you're really tired. Which side are you going to? You want to cross? Can you take a cab? I'll pay for it, don't worry. Please, let me get you a cab, please. You look so tired. You look like you're about to... Please.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Madam.
Okay. How much did they ask you to go and look for? They said you should go and bring 28,000 for them to admit you, right? Can we go there? Can we go back to the hospital?
Yeah, we can go back.
Okay.
They say it's on Friday that will come.
Okay, that you should come back on Friday.
Friday, yes. That is when they intend to do it. But they
Okay.
asked you to go and collect later, Sha.
So all they ask you for is 24,000 naira. 28,000.
But they asked you to go and collect later first.
To go and collect letter where?
From Cafe Exit.
So that's where you are going to. Okay.
That is the place I registered before.
Okay.
So this is my information. They say they cannot there. They say I go to my grandma or I come to...
Okay, can I take you there to where you want to go and get the letter? Then I'll still give you the 28,000 naira they ask you to bring. Okay? All right. Amen. Please don't cry, please. Please, don't cry. Is this the clinic?
Yes.
Are you okay? Should I hold you? I should give it to you. Did you say she's in labor now?
She's in labor like this. I don't want here.
Talk to me. No, no. You've not gotten anything for the baby. It's okay. It's okay. The things that you want to get, it's something we can get around here. Do you have somebody at home that we can call to bring your
I only
things?
have a sister in the freeway. Maybe she can come around.
Please, call her. Where's your phone? It's okay. Everything will be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry. God loves you. God is with you. Where's your husband?
He's at home. He's strong.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, Mama, I can't calculate on everything, yes.
This place. Papa, where do you say we get it? We don't have.
Don't go better. Amen. Sorry.
That is such a painful video that unfortunately is not it's not something that is rare. It's not a rare occurrence. It's actually something that happens more often than we report in the media. But let's move away from this very sad incident in Abuja to another one that happened in Akwa Ibom, where a young woman by the name Indifreka Amos posted a video accusing medical officers of negligence regarding her sister's death. Says her sister and the baby passed as a result of medical negligence, and she blames the Akwa General Hospital in Akwa Ibom. Let's take a look at this video.
They have killed my sister finally, oh. God, oh. Doctor was not on seat, oh. Doctor was not on duty, oh. This is an act of negligence, oh. Doctor was not on seat, oh. My sister was bleeding. She was due for CS. There was no doctor to operate her. She is dead, oh. Governor, why not? Who forgive us for getting up and they went young ago? Doctor, you would go. Who man had the bedroom, yo. Don't funky, you forgive us. If my doctor didn't have to, doctor, if I had the manager in CS. Pastor, why not? So forgive us for getting provide get one young ago. And I come here, go. In the middle, Doctor Ibarra, and we open get theater. I didn't get here was additional 3 hours. The operator after the CS now the baby died. 2 minutes later, when the baby died, the doctor and enemy on standby after this 3 times. In case the emergency man arrives, overlook me because I am not a doctor, because I am not a nurse. My enemy even on standby. Nobody wants to hear me. At that 10 minutes, they now look for another pile of blood. They did not see it in the whole of this hospital. The doctors neglected my sister and she died. Oh, doctors of General Hospital, no doctor was on sick to operate her as at when due. She wasted.
These are such harrowing experiences, again, that are not exclusive to these women whose videos we have just seen. This is unfortunately the reality of a number of Nigerian women. Nigeria accounts for 12% of the global maternal mortality rate, with about 82,000 women dying every year as a result of pregnancy and pregnancy-related issues. Now, the lifetime risk for a woman in Nigeria is 1 to, I think, yes, 1 in 22, yes, it's 1 in 22 Nigerian women. So compare 1 in 22 Nigerian women who are at risk of losing their lives due to pregnancy and pregnancy-related complications, as opposed to what we have in developed countries. 1 in 4,900 women. It's such a huge gap. We have such a long way to go. And there are many factors. Look at this video in Akwa Ibom now. She talked about her sister needing cesarean section. and no doctor being on ground. The World Health Organization prescribes one doctor to about 500 patients, 600. That's not the reality here. Here, what we have is one doctor to about 5,000, 6,000 patients. That is the reality of what we have. And if, in fact, some would argue that those numbers are not even a true reflection of what our current reality is. In a country where every other day the doctors are going on strike because the government has not been able to meet the needs of the doctors. In a country where every other day we're seeing a mass exodus of doctors to greener pastures because they do not have the resources that they need to be able to do their work effectively. And also they do not have, they don't feel like their work is being adequately remunerated. This is the reality. Women will unfortunately die and continue to die from situations that could have been avoided. There's preeclampsia, there's the unavailability of doctors, and some of them it's even postpartum. It's not even before the child has come. How do we reduce these numbers if we don't start to fix the healthcare challenges, if we don't realize that there's a medical emergency and that we have to ensure that we declare a state of emergency in our healthcare? It's a really sad development.
It's a sad development. I mean, if you watch that video, the lady was simply saying that they were there 3 hours earlier. That 3 hours earlier, the sister was due. They came a day before. And aside that, they were there 3 hours earlier. Aside that, because of everything, she had also gone to get pint of blood. I think 3, just to get it ready and set, just in case anything happens. That there was no doctor on ground. There was nobody on ground. And everyone just simply ignored and just sat as if nothing happened. And that's why she started screaming and shouting and saying they killed her sister. This is as a result of her feeling that there was no emergency or no proactiveness from their own end. It was just a case of business as usual, and then who was supposed to be on ground to assist and ensure that the operation and everything goes smoothly was not there, and that's why she's screaming. Olive, I think you've highlighted the key reasons, and this breaks my heart because at the end of the day, when you look at everything that's going on, you ask yourself, the doctors are currently given the ultimatum of going on strike, even though they said the federal government has sat and met with them. But why must we wait to get to that level? So there are a few questions. One, why must we wait to get to the level where the doctors will tell you that they will go on strike? Two, why are we focusing on fixing roads or building new roads and abandoning the existing ones with huge sum of monies, when the critical condition that we find our healthcare system or educational system is in a complete comatose, which should actually be the focal point? We're not focusing on that. Why is it that people no longer have access to just healthcare, basic? Look at the first video we watched, lady in Abuja. While watching that video, a lot was coming to my mind. That woman should not be walking in the hot sun, for goodness sakes. She should be in a place relaxed and ready to be in good health. You could tell from her skin and her look that she doesn't look like she ate well or she's well relaxed. It just did not show that. And all of these things are the things that we're talking about. But then again, the Commissioner of Health we hear actually put out a tweet. Let's get to see what that tweet is very quickly. There it is. It says the attention of the Akwa Ibom State government has been drawn to a video currently circulating on social media concerning the unfortunate death of a young mother and a newborn following a cesarean birth at the General Hospital, Ikotekpene. His Excellency Pastor Omoyeno, PhD, deeply sympathizes with the bereaved family and has directed the Honorable Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ekem Emmanuel John, to immediately set up a high-powered commission of inquiry comprising medical and legal experts to establish the circumstances surrounding the tragic incident and recommend measures to prevent future occurrences. In line with the directive, the Honorable Commissioner, Dr. Ekem Emmanuel John, led a team from the Ministry of Health to the hospital at 12:10 a.m., he says, for an on-the-spot preliminary inquiry and to obtain first-hand accounts from relevant stakeholders. The government of His Excellency, Pastor Omoyeno, PhD, remains deeply committed to safeguarding the lives of mothers and children and has earlier declared a statewide fight against maternal mortality as a core priority of his administration. Over the past months, the governor has consistently demonstrated his commitment through sustained investment in healthcare infrastructure, recruitment of skilled personnel, and strengthening of emergency response systems. The Ministry of Health assures the public that the outcome of this review will be handled with full transparency and that any verified cases of negligence will attract appropriate sanctions in line with the civil service and professional regulation. We appeal for calm and understanding from the public as the government works diligently to uncover the facts and take decisive steps to further strengthen maternal and child health in Akwa Ibom State. The health and safety of every Akwa Ibomite remain the utmost priority of this administration. Signed, Dr. Ekem Emmanuel John, Honorable Commissioner for Health, Akwa Ibom State. Very, very, I would say, yeah, a good message put out there, but the life is gone again. And that's what we keep saying. It's gone. You can't bring her back. But I like the fact that we can prevent it from happening again. But the question is, will we prevent it? And I think it's also high time for subnationals to actually take the bull by the horn. If we keep waiting for the federal government to establish hospitals, ensure that they are well fitted, they're kitted, they're ready for medical emergencies and so on, I think that's where the failure starts from. And I think it's high time everyone is held responsible in the sense that the subnationals, the state governors, the local governments, they should start ensuring that they fix their own medical care facilities. And if you fix them, in no way, in no time, you will not be dependent on the federal government. While you have yours fixed, then of course things will happen. In Lagos State, for instance, we do see that they have a lot of medical health services being provided for those who are pregnant. You can get free this, free that, and check up as long as you get the card. They've ensured that they slash the price, subsidize the rates, and so on and so forth. But then again, that's just one state, which is Lagos State. However, there's also the issue of the exodus, mass exodus of doctors who are leaving in droves, leaving the countries, and they're still telling you that you're not paying them well. And then you now have a case to deal with where the federal government now comes out through the office of the RAMFAC saying that they have to review the salaries of the lawmakers. For goodness gracious, do we have a bone of compassion inside us, even though we have been elected into offices? Because if you have a bone of compassion, if you watch this video today, as a leader, whoever you are, you should sit back and note that at the end of the day, you too, when you go, you will be buried in the same place. After all, I mean, our condolences also go out to the former IGP of police who also died this past weekend. There's a lot happening in the country, a lot. And we're not saying that it's the fault of anybody, but we're just saying that these things can be curbed if proper actions are taken. And for the medical sector, we're really in trouble if we don't step up. Well, let's take a look at some of the reactions quickly. Let's see what Nigerians are saying about these cases.
Vera Cruzo says, if you've never experienced such a loss, you might not understand. Today, my sister passed away due to medical negligence. I was devastated. I was beside myself with grief, and in my anguish, I made a desperate plea to God. If he could bring her back, I would dedicate my life to serving him. Though that miracle didn't occur, the pain of losing someone so dear still lingers. Losing a loved one can make everything else seem insignificant. It's well. That's from Vera. Nigeria was never ready for independence. Even after independence, power shouldn't have gotten to the hands of some people. Every day in Nigeria is a struggle for survival. That's what she says. And then we have been following my sisters to the hospital during their delivery time. After my witness from my elder sister during her delivery time, we rushed her to the hospital. She was uncomfortable. We got to the hospital like 5 female doctors. None attended to my sister. They were discussing, Omo, my madness fallout. I give them, everybody wake up that midnight, them call security. I chase the security man. Now once them attend to my sister. May every pregnant woman deliver safely and healthy. Amen. That's from Okito Nasamba. Udeme Okono says, this is a really sad incident. I'm hopeful that the inquiry committee set up by the government to investigate this matter will be fair, truthful, and truly independent so that we can put an end to these avoidable deaths in our healthcare facilities. And I mean, all of these just point to the fact that everyone is sad to hear about these stories. We are a far cry. If we look at our healthcare and how much we allocate in terms of budgetary allocation to our healthcare, we're a far cry from the Abuja Declaration in 2001. How many years ago? These African governments had pledged to devote 15% of their annual budgets to healthcare, to improve the quality of healthcare. It just feels like, you know, we're really a far cry from it. And I don't know if we would ever get to that point where we can boldly say we've been able to make these allocations based on, you know, the recommendation, even by the World Health Organization. So we have a long way to go with our healthcare in general. And unfortunately, we can see the people who are taking the fall for it. And poverty. Poverty is also a core cause.
It is. Do you know that as we speak now, anybody who falls ill today, this moment, if you go to the hospital, you will spend nothing less than at least, let's say you go to a government-owned hospital and all that, just prepare your 50,000 naira.
50,000 naira is nice now.
Now, if you go to a private hospital, I had to rush someone to a private hospital at the wee hours of the night, and nothing at all, 300,000 was gone. So the question now rises. So it means if you are poor, there's no health care for you. Despite the fact that they will tell you it's subsidized. If you go to the government-owned hospitals, you are even, it's there, don't get me wrong, but you are in trouble because the queue, the waiting, if there's an emergency, your survival chances are very slim. And then again, I think this is a wake-up call to all those who are really still battling to pay doctors and nurses well and trying to ensure that they stay back in the hospital. This is it. This is the call.
Well, it is really a wake-up call, and it is a sad time. Again, we'll continue to advocate for better quality of healthcare, one that we all can be proud of to leave for our children unborn, one that our Nigerian politicians can be proud of patronizing, so we don't keep seeing the need for them to fly abroad for healthcare.
There's US, there are other countries just
go
fly
check.
because you have the money.
Exactly.
So you can go there.
We can, there are certain key things that Nigerian leaders will do that they don't even need to campaign for election. Fix our power, fix our healthcare problems, fix education, and fix our roads. To be honest, these things you don't even need to campaign. They will see the working, and when they say, you know, the fact speaks for itself, that will be a case where the fact truly speaks for itself. But we'll continue to advocate for better quality of healthcare for Nigerians and a high commitment to the reduction of maternal mortality in alliance with our SDG goals. Let's now share with you what our top stories this morning are on Breakfast Central. This morning on Breakfast Central, federal government defense hike in passport cost. We'll be looking at the details of this, joined by an international analyst. CBN orders geotagging of POS terminals. Of course, this is to curb fraud, and we're looking at the aftermath of Rivers local government elections, talking about, you know, the different reactions, and Borno community pleads for PHC. These are our top stories. Even as we review the front pages of the newspapers, join us for all these and more.